Hello everyone, I'm Dorian from Canonicalized. In this video I want to give you a few technical details on how I created this chart. It's a time series that you can filter to predefined periods of time, and in this case I'm analyzing Tesla's stock. So first let me show you how I got the data. I used R for this. I'm getting the data from a service called Alpha Vantage using this library. I'm getting three types of data. One is intraday, which is data that comes in every 5 minutes. It's and daily data, and also weekly data. I'm unioning these three together and writing to a CSV. And I'm using this CSV inside Tableau, and as you can see I set it up here. So we have the date on the x-axis and the close value for the stock for each time period. Now the first thing I want to do is to filter to my right type of data, because as you saw we have three types in our data set, so daily, intraday and weekly, and for this I'm using a parameter to switch between the three of these, and all I need to do is to create a filter like this. So I'll say type equals date granularity, which is my parameter. So let's put this on color, and now if I change the parameter, the color will also change. Move this to the filter, and now we have only our selected data here. And let me go back here and do that again. Sorry for this. So data granularity. Okay, move it to the filter, hit true, and now we have only daily level data. Now the second thing I want to talk about is how we can use parameters to filter back in time. So here we have the full length of the data, but we want to allow our users to filter to predefined periods in time. Now for this I'm creating two more parameters. One is date part and one is interval, and let me show you how I want to use these two in this calculated field. So I'm basically checking to see if the date is greater than my a predefined date in time a while back. Now this while back can be different depending on the two parameters. So let me add this to the color, and for example, let's say I want to look at the past 7 months. So you can see the data is being colored here, and if I want to have a look at 12 months, we will get a while back. Now all we need to do is to filter this to true, and it will keep our values. Now the main thing here is we probably don't want our users we don't want to force them into selecting this kind of interactivity. We want them to reach the end result faster, and for this we will use parameter actions. So first of all, I want to show you a file I created in Excel, and here we have the period of time, the predefined periods of time. This is the interval, which will be used to filter, and this is the date part. Now you also saw the date granularity before. This is added here. Now all I need to do is to copy and paste it as a data source, as a new data source in Tableau. And now we have everything here. And all I want to keep is the period. Get rid of these, make these dimensions. Now I want to be able to click on one of these. Let's put this on text. So click on one of these and send the interval and also the date part and also the date granularity. So I want to fill my all of my parameters here with the data that's being clicked on. So how do we do this? Let's start a new dashboard. Add our filters, our main chart, sorry, and the chart will be using as buttons. So let me hide the titles. You can also see we have our parameters here, and now we are going to dashboard actions and adding change parameter actions. So the first one will be from this one to the date granularity. I want to use the date granularity field, no aggregation. Okay, let's add the second one. For this we'll use the date part, or no, yes, the date part, and we'll use the date part field. Now this is the field that's coming from the data source we created from Excel, and here is the target parameter. Okay, and we add a third parameter action in the same way. This time we're targeting the interval. So no aggregation, make sure we have no aggregation. And now let's see when we click on one of these what happens to our parameters here. So when we click on a month, the date part changes to a month, interval is 1 because we have only 1 month, and the date granularity is daily because we want to look at daily data. If we change it to an year, the interval should be still 1, the date part should be year. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Let's say 5 days, we should have date part day and interval. Oh, we have, this is how I set it up. I set it up as a week for the 5 days. So sorry about that. Also for 5 years, we should have date part year and an interval of 5 years. So this is pretty much everything we need to set up. I also have, I'm sure you saw this, I also have some other periods like max and year to date, and for this I created this branch of the if. So if period equals max, then show me everything. Otherwise, if period is year to date, we need to make sure that the date is greater or equal than the first day of the year. Now, regarding this max date here, it's just a simple LOD calculation which gets the latest date from our data set. So we're always comparing the date, the current date, with the maximum date from our data set, which is pretty common. Okay, and now as a final thing, I want to show you how I added that reference line. When you hold your mouse wherever on the chart a reference line appears. So for this I'm creating a dual axis. I'm creating first a dummy area chart. I'm editing the axis and make it go from 0 to 1. I'm creating a dual axis and I'm putting the area on top of the line chart. And first let me get rid of the colors here. and I'm reducing the opacity to 0. So now we can hold our mouse over, and all we need to do is add different parameter action. We can do this with set actions as well, but let me do it with the parameters. So I have one here called selected date, and I want to be able to hold my mouse over a certain period. So run the action on hover. The target parameter is the selected date, and the field is my date. So when I hover over a specific date, this selected date should change. You can see it on the right here. It changes accordingly. And yeah, I have a calculated field here, selected date. So if date is equal to selected date, then give me the date. And I'll put this on detail here, make it an exact date. And now I can drag in my reference line, which is already here, as you can see it. Oops, sorry. So yeah, this blue area, this is one topic I want to discuss as well. So let me edit the reference line to show you how it's set up. So I want to show a reference line when we have a selected date. So minimum, maximum, this doesn't matter. And I also have it labeled with the date. Okay, so as I was saying, when there's a tricky thing, when you click on the area, it brings it back, and I really don't like this pretty much at all. So I'm using Yuri's file method. I'm not sure if you've seen it. I found it in a Twitter conversation between Jonathan Drami, Yuri Fal, the author of the method, and Ludovic Tavernier. And it's pretty simple. All we need to do is to create two calculated fields, one called false, which is equal to false, one called true, which is equal to true. Drag this on the detail, and now we need to add a filter action. So add action, filter action. I want it to run only for this sheet. Run it on select. So the tricky part is to add a filter for true, and for the second and for the target we'll use false. So the source is true, the target is false. This is everything we need to do. And now if we go back and click, we can see that the area from behind is no longer selected, which is very, very good. Now all I want to do before we hang up is to show you the final version of the dashboard. It's using the Tableau newest beta, which is making use of these animations. And as you can see, when we filter it, there's a very nice interactivity to it. To set this up, you first need the beta, and all you need to do is to go to format, animations, and you can turn them on or off. So this one is with the animations turned off, and here's how it looks with the animations turned on. So a lot nicer. I'm sure you would agree. Okay, thanks for tuning in, and if you have any questions, make sure to leave me a comment and I'll try to help. See you next time. Bye.